All right, here we go, people. It is time. It is that time. We are here for the Winner's Edge podcast, and it's a wonderful day to be alive. I'm telling you, we're all excited. We're all jamming. We're all pumped. It's all happening right now. It's January the 21st, I believe it is, and my, how things, 24 hours makes a difference, doesn't it? We're excited. We're moving. We're shaking. Wherever you're coming in from, let us know. Just pop it in the chat there, and we are ready to go. Coming to you now from Wichita, Kansas, Byron Schrag, from the sub-zero, ridiculous, crazy cold temperatures of Wisconsin, where everything right now is frozen. And, of course, the one, the only, Pastor Terry Camp from Las Vegas, Nevada, people. Let's take it away, boys.
Oh, here we go. What's up?
Morning, everybody.
It's a new day. It's a new day. How you guys doing? You guys cold over there?
Yeah, what's the temperature at your house, TK?
It's pretty cold today. It's only going to be 50. It's a pretty cold day today. I think it's the coldest day of the year.
JD, what'd you wake up to?
It was somewhere between minus 25 and minus 30 when I got up when it was still dark out. So I quit wanting to look at the number because it was not even something I enjoy.
Yep. Well, it was minus 10 at my house. I got out to mess with my animals, and they got ice all over them.
Oh, boy.
Yep. The ice is hanging off their tails. They got the little frost. We got a bunch of snow that came down too. So they got
that happened to me last week, by the way.
Yeah. You had ice on your tail?
I did.
Yeah. Most of the time when you're born, they cut them things off. I tell my grandkids all the time when they're doing something wrong, I said, look, we had to cut your tail off when you came out. That tail will grow back, and it won't be fun when I cut that thing back off.
Nice.
Several of my grandsons, they think their tail might grow back out.
So what are we talking about today, gentlemen?
Reel it in, Gary. Reel it in.
Really quick.
Sounds like we're talking about tail, I guess. I don't know.
Comp plan. Let's talk comp plan. Let's get on track here.
JD.
Let's go.
Oh, boy. Well, that's kind of how the podcast was, TK, that we did on the Winner's Circle, boy. That when they started talking about this product increasing libido, I'm telling you what, my text message blew up. You're kidding me.
We tried to keep that on the down low, and it got out.
Oh, my goodness. There's a rush of orders that went into corporate.
No pun intended, right, Terry?
Yeah.
Hell, before we go too far downhill, boys, let's
right.
get back on the topic that we said we were going to talk about.
Yes, let's do that. So we were all at events this past weekend, all three of us, different events. But it was interesting because we covered some similar things, and we came across some of the things that were apparent. Some of those we'll be covering in the next podcast or two. But today, we really wanted to dive into the compensation plan. And, guys, every time I have conversations, I have a lot of conversations, a lot of Zooms with people who have been very successful in this industry. And I would say maybe 20% of them, they don't like, quote unquote, the binary. And my personal opinion on that, after having numerous conversations with these people, is that people that don't like the binary are people who were lied to about what they should expect in the binary. And so somebody said something to them that they did not follow through on, and as a result, they felt, I guess, slighted, and this doesn't work. And so once we have that conversation, we start to have look, you got to build two teams, okay, period. Let's just start there. But our comp plan is really rich, which we're going to help people understand today. And maybe everybody doesn't understand that because, it's $100 and $200 enrollment options around the globe. And we don't have a very high amount of monthly auto ship dollars going in. So maybe people don't really grasp the power of the binary and why we call it rich. Number two, they don't grasp that everybody counts forever. And I know I'm just kind of like, you guys got to understand how amazingly powerful this is. that you get paid on work you don't necessarily do. And so trying to help people understand what that looks like. And the thing that, as we start this, gang, for those of you who might not yet grasp the power of our compensation plan, you've got to let go of what you think it is, how you think it works. If you're not getting it, if you don't look at the comp plan and go, wow, I need to go do this and this and this. If you don't understand that, this podcast is for you, literally. And you should watch this over and over if that's you, because my goodness. And it's hard to see it, as we talked, guys, it's hard to see it early on because, the numbers may not be big, but my goodness, do they get large over time. So really important, guys, to kind of lock in this morning, this evening, wherever you happen to be listening to, if you listen to the recording.
Let me jump in here real quick, TK. I would just agree 100% with everything you're talking about here. I've had people that I've talked to, and they said, well, how can you make any money in a comp plan where it's only a $199 to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a real telling question because there's a lot of markets or a lot of business models out there, and it's 500, 600, 700, 800. They got these big packages you buy. Well, the reason they have the big packages up front is because they don't pay anything on the money being spent. So I think one of the first things, if you're going to evaluate compensation, is how much credit do I get when I spend $100?
Yeah, exactly.
Because those people the reason they have great big numbers that people got to buy, which reduces the speed because of the number of people that can participate.
Yep.
When we have a price point that can drive numbers, this creates a lot of business. And when that number, also the percentage of credit that goes in the comp plan is significant. Ours is between 50 and 85%, depending on the products that are purchased.
Yeah.
So what that means is we have a monthly fee of $79 and you get 50 points of commissionable volume that goes in the tree.
Yeah, that's really
high.
High.
This is really, really significant. So, you when you start looking at numbers and you understand we have to start at the base of what really creates the volume. It's a lot of customers and a lot of reps that join, and how much credit are you getting? And as they repeat purchase and buy, is there actually credit that you're getting paid in the comp plan? And when ours answer is yes. See, when we started Marketplace Global, the marketplace is about three things. Hopefully you'll get this in your head. Products that really, really, really work. All right. Products that have high margins because Randy manufactures most of all the stuff. All right. This is where we can get the high margins because we make it. We're not getting somebody else to make it. We own all the machines. We own all the stuff that makes it. And the third thing is exclusivity, where we're not competing in the marketplace. Dump those three components into a comp plan along with a system. You better put your seatbelt on. And this is why thousands are joining us, because they can get paid here if they understand what to do and why this is really powerful. So I think this is going to be a great topic today. Towards the end here, we might even open it up for a few questions, that are tied to the comp plan. But we want to dial in some of the nuances here so you really have a good understanding of what's happening here.
So this is a really good kickoff. Guys, there's a couple different directions we can go. And I think maybe before we get in that, let's quickly, Terry, let's cover just some basics of draw contrast between the two main comp plans. And when we talk non-flushing, right, if you're doing 50 points, volume holds. So we established that. Versus, in contrast, out there in the industry, especially people that come from the unilevel world, whether it's the 28th, right, of February, the 30th of April, or months that end in 31 days, whatever midnight is, that comp plan zeroes out and flushes. Okay? So what people have to understand, and we won't get deep into this, everybody, but that creates a lot of breakage, that latter scenario. And
explain breakage, Jim. Explain breakage, brother.
Breakage is.
Let me just say this. just so people aren't confused, our comp plan holds the sales volume if you do 50 points in a month.
That's
Okay.
right.
What Jim is talking about is what other comp plans when they flush. I don't want people to think, JD, because I could hear your voice, what you're trying to say, but there's people that they don't understand what this is. And they're going, oh, it flushes out. No, our volume holds if you do the 50 points. Okay.
Right.
Non-flushing. Okay. So now back to you, JD. Just go ahead.
Well, what happens is let's cover that quick so we don't have to come back to it. By doing your monthly, you'll notice in your dashboard that whatever volume, it doesn't matter whatever size groups you have, but if your left leg is running ahead, that leftover volume will carry into the next week and the next month. Okay, very important you understand that. And so that helps not only in terms of pay, but also rank. If it carries over into the next month, that leftover volume actually does count toward rank, guys. In contrast to plans that are monthly plans. Now, let me say this one thing and then you guys jump in here. The caveat is we also pay weekly. Very important you understand this because people can touch money quickly, right? Especially in this economy, that adds to the gift of timing. How fast can I actually touch income to help pay the bills and pay for my $6 a dozen eggs? And rank is based on monthly. So I'm going to pause there because I know we're headed here down a path.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful, guys, because for many people on here, oh man, we understand the comp plan at a master's level. And the three of us have been around this industry a long time. So we want to try to simplify this for everybody. And this is like, I'm hearing this and I'm just thinking, okay, what is a brand new person? Oh, yeah. Okay. You have QV, qualifying volume. It qualifies you for rank monthly. That's QV. You also have CV, commissionable volume. That's what you get paid on weekly. QV, monthly, rank. CV, pay, weekly. Okay, they're different. Every purchase that's ever made has QV and CV associated with it. And in your back office, it's all there. I've put a gem. I put it already in the chat, gang. It's the Get Paid gem. All of this is covered. Every bit of what we're going to cover today is in that gem. You can go watch it after this. But it's really important you understand these two little things. And now for right now, just understand we got QV and CV. Please just stop thinking about that for a minute as we go through the rest of this and try to listen in on what we're sharing here. Because what Byron said at the beginning, it goes to retention. Yep. See, when we have a relatively low monthly dollar amount, real true dollars that people are putting in, a true low monthly dollar, that matters. Because a lot of companies, it's in the hundreds of dollars that they got to pay every month just to stay active. That's not this. But what he said was we have a very high percentage of the dollars, the real dollars that come in, that go into the comp plan for people to get paid. So we have the ability for people to pay a low dollar amount monthly, yet get paid a high dollar amount on those same dollars that are coming in. That is where you get retention. That is why you can have here longevity. That is why we have a marketplace of products that we want to keep rolling out, not just Fix, but a whole lot of other products, so that people, if they get value out of the other products, they will buy those, increase the volume that goes into the comp plan so that everybody gets paid more money.
Yep, really, really good. JD, you're muted.
Sorry. Let me point out one quick thing, Byron, before you chime in there. Terry mentioned the high cost. I want to draw a contrast to what's referred to as a unilevel. If you are in a higher monthly where you're playing that game and that flushes out, this is very important, guys. You've spent that money and you technically over time get nothing in return. We're here, if you're a watcher, if you're a member and you're doing that monthly, Terry, as you just referenced, that volume starts to accumulate. And I really believe after watching this for decades, everybody has a number. I don't know what that number is, but there's a number that they see activity and volume and they recognize I can monetize this right now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I think there's a couple other things to think about here on that monthly volume, being that we're talking about it. You don't personally have to do it. You just have to have a customer that does it. Yep. All right. So when their customers are rewarded in this comp plan very heavily. All right. And so as you do customers, you technically don't even have to do 50 points yourself. If you have a retail customer or people that are non-reps and they buy whatever products it is, let's say it's Spix, and they buy, as a customer, they pay either 89 or 99, depending on whether they have an auto ship. That does 50 points. That's 50 points that counts for your 50 points if you're not buying anything. So now I don't know why you wouldn't want to have Fix or some of these products yourself, but also the customers can keep all of you qualified that holds the sales volume in that bigger team, which is really important because that bigger team, get this. So as you do that, there is this thing that's called spillover in a 2-team system or a binary. All right. And many of you, Jim will draw some of this out here in a minute on a pad. But just to understand that some of you are going to get spillover and some of you are the giver of the spillover. And the people that are the giver of the spillover are the ones that make the money, not the ones that get all of it. Because you're going to have to create it one way or another. As you start building your 2 teams, there's only 2 options. You either can put them on the bottom right or the bottom left. Those are your choices. If you have one team that has a whole bunch of people in it, and you're doing 50 points, all that volume, that QV and CV is accumulating, waiting for you to harvest it on the other side all the way to infinity. It doesn't matter how far away it goes from you. I mean, I have some people in the tree, Terry, that are holding $1 million in sales volume, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million in sales volume because they've done their 50 a month in points, and they're doing it because at some point in time they're going, what if I decide to build? I have all that sitting there, and now they go chase and match that. See, a diamond rank is 20,000 QV, 20,000 QV on each of the 2 teams. If you're doing your 50 points and you got 20,000 in QV on one side, and then you have to qualify in our comp plan, we have to put at least 1. We tell people to put 3 over there. We could talk about that more later if you guys want to. But what happens is when they match 20,000 in QV on the other side, as long as they have their qualifiers in there, they could be now at the diamond rank, which all of a sudden now could create revenue at the clip of $1,000 a week. $1,000 a week could change people's life. All right.
I think if you guys are okay with it, Byron, what you just said is this right here. This is what you're talking about, right? All the people that come in. And Jim, This is probably what you're going to draw out. It's right here. And it's everybody that comes in. Byron mentioned spillover. Anybody who's in before you, if they put people on your team, that counts. It doesn't count as a personal. Their volume counts. And everybody they ever bring in, and to infinite levels, it never, ever, ever, ever stops. So as the team gets bigger and the volume that Byron's referencing, it keeps going up. This is like a savings account over here. Just think, your savings account is growing. When you start building your other team, because everybody's got 2 teams, you start to match. And every $100 in volume on this team matching with 100 that's already banked in your savings account, it's like an ATM withdrawal. $20, $20, $20, $20, $20, $20. It just goes. So this is very, very simple. Some people struggle with this because they've, maybe been another type of compensation plans, but I struggle to understand why anybody doesn't like the binary, because you can put somebody 100 levels deep and that person counts for everybody that's already in. That's got to be a great thing for people.
Yeah, you get to leverage off of not only your contacts, but your people in your team's contacts, but also the people that are up the tree, all of their contacts, because they have to put some over there to get qualified. And this might be a good time because in our compensation plan, the way to make the most money is not to keep them even. The way to make the most money is get a runaway freight train on one side and then come back and go drive the business on the second team and never catch it.
Yep.
Right. This is why one of the strategies that we've implemented that will make this go faster, if you'll take and put your first 3 people on the common team. All right. So it's common with the person that puts you in. So whoever added you, your sponsor or the upline, all right, the common team in this scenario is the left team. But when the common team starts, go to your other slide, Terry, where you went, where that second team started. Now the common team is the right team for David. He just got in at the bottom. David's common team is the right. We want David to put his first 3 over there before he starts on his second team. Because here's what happens. Number one, what he does is he continues to drive the common team that gives him a chance to chase. The second thing is now he hits silver and bronze at the same time. All right, because when he puts 1 on the left team, we're not going to go through all the ranks here, but just understand this strategy will benefit every person if they choose it. Now, you can do whatever you want, and we watch people not doing it, and then all of a sudden that starts duplicating out, and they don't grow as fast. All right, but if you want to move quickly, let's get a runaway team, and as long as you do your 50 points, and also we're going to get to this thing called check match. It's going to blow your mind when we get to that. All right, but JD, what are your thoughts here?
I'm going to ask Terry if he has a slide. If not, maybe this would be a good time to draw it with, like, in a unit level, and then Terry goes back to that slide. Terry, do you have something that shows a horizontal?
No, you'd have to draw that. I mean,
okay, let me do this real quick, everybody. This is important you get this, because for some reason, this is a stumbling block for people. So if this is...
Yeah, I'll just, while you're pulling this up, let me just say this. I talk to people and they go, well, I didn't like a binary because I had one team that took off. Well, that could be because the volume didn't hold. I have no idea why. But to me, in my mind, I'm going like, well, you only have to build 2 teams here. If you have a unilevel, what Jim is drawing out here, you place all your personals on the front line like this, and none of those ever get any credit ever for anything else. And when you start helping build this business out, what takes place and happens is you got now a plate that you got to spin. You can't ever create any leverage in your business here, all right? And there's crazy amounts of breakage for the companies that have this like this, all right? So
again, Byron, guys, got to explain breakage to people.
Breakage is money that you never have a chance on. It goes back to the company.
There it is. That's what doesn't happen here.
To say it
important. This is really important, gang. That
Yep.
is what does not happen here. This is massive, this part right here. For people who understand the industry, who have been around the industry, who have made big money, this part right here, this is the deal.
Let me tell you my aha moment, guys, because you guys were both, your first big company for many years was Amway. So I was mentored by, at a very young age of 21, by a lot of great icons in this industry. Many of them have since passed away. But there was a saying that you had to go 20 wide, and that would net you 3 active groups.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Okay, and I need you all, this is a little bit advanced, so if you're new, this might go over your head, but I'm going to turn this into Terry's binary here in a second. So in that program in Amway, we were Emerald, so it just meant we had 3, 4, or 5 legs that had gotten to a significant volume, and to go Diamond was 6. Okay, so here's the first thing I need to teach you all. We were taught to go 40 wide minimum. So 40 this way. When Terry talked about spinning plates, I'm going to ask this in a question. How many of you listeners think you possess the talent to mentor 40 or more people simultaneously, thus spinning plates?
That aren't working together. They're not working
together, and there's no benefit for them to help anybody else. I mean, they can help people in their downline, but it doesn't help any of the other people that you put in.
Totally sucks.
Right. So while I was going to this significant level, say Emerald, and I put in 20, you two get what I'm doing here to everybody. What did I do to the other 17?
Probably
Nothing.
trying to put them in.
Yeah, nothing. I ignored them. So if
Yeah.
you're 40 wide and you identified your 5, 6, or 7 for your Magic Kingdom called the unilevel, what are you doing with the other 33? Nothing. It's the same answer. All right. This is very important. So what if there's an invisible line, and I'm linking back to Terry, and Terry, I'll go out of screen share in a second. And instead of placing them this way, we just turn that down at a 45-degree angle, and those 20 people are here. So you're always working here, and these 20 people are here this way, and there's an invisible bucket under both sides to infinity that captures all volume, all QV, all CV to infinity. This is how I debunk the lies that leaders tell in this industry, one being that this here is great. This here is not great, and the number of people in this industry that possess this talent is less than 1%. I promise you.
Yeah.
The other way, pull that back up, Jim.
Oh, crap. I might have.
Oh,
Let's see.
The other way to understand it, gang, he's drawn the lines horizontally. We really got to keep this really basic for people because I don't want them getting confused about what they're seeing here. So even if you just take that horizontal, just picture those as teams. You're putting the same people in, except they go under the other person, and they count for the next person. They count. That's the big difference. And then you can start building teams. You can start working. My phone is blowing up because I've got teams of people commenting in their teams going, oh, this is why it works. This is why this, because they get it and they understand what's happening and what everybody in that could just like that horizontal line over there or the diagonal, whichever, everybody can work together as a team instead of as individuals. This is the big deal. This is what we got to grasp in this. And not everybody's going to go grow, and it's okay. You probably can't work with them all anyway. I mean, every church in America, guys, is capped by leadership. Every church. And it's the same thing here. You have to find anchors in there, gang. People who know what they're doing, people who can lead, people who have influence. Out of the quantity, Jim talked about 40 personals. Byron's got 85 personals. I got 73 personals. And so we're putting quantity of people in personally to find the quality, meaning the people that are ready to go build. And some people, listen, some people have to incubate. They have to see it happen because they don't see it in the beginning. And if you don't see the path, you will not walk the path. So here in our compensation plan, you just keep putting people in under the next one, under the next one, under the next one, under the next one. And sooner or later, somebody's going to start building their inside teams. And then they self-identify. Say, oh, there's a leader right there. Let's go work with them.
TK, show that.
Terry.
I want Terry to show one of those slides because it shows.
Real quick, Byron. Let me.
Go ahead, Jim.
Because I'm afraid I'll lose it. But let's go to these incubators. What he just said. Law of numbers in this industry. It's like laws of nature. You still go put in the 20 in your left team and the 20 in your right team, thus 40. And short term, if you get the same 3 builders, okay? But Terry used an interesting word. Those other 17 that you had to ignore in the other comp plan, they can now incubate.
Yes.
So while you're doing this, driving it this way and finding all these other leaders that show up on the inside, these incubators, I have this happening at a rapid rate right now from the last 2 years. All these incubators are now waking up and they want to get out of their cocoon and fly.
Yes. Why,
Okay.
Jim? Why?
Because they've got something to chase.
Exactly. They have volume there because you kept building depth.
Correct.
Yes.
So the game becomes, how do we find the people that want to chase the business?
Yes.
And instead of trying to force somebody to do something, all you got to do is go to work and go drive the bottom of the teams in a binary. You can actually be in charge because the chasers appear, because there's something that they're missing out on, that now when they go to work, they just start building. They start on their bigger team with their first three, and then they start building down the other side. All of a sudden, when that happens, the explosion takes place and massive numbers of people can come in and the revenue streams can go up very quickly. So this is what you're looking for right there. What Terry's talking about. We got it to drive it 100 deep, left and right. All of a sudden, somebody in there decides to chase it. Are you saying that's not 100 people you necessarily put in? It's other people that put those in. But this is what unlocks the crazy amounts of growth that takes place when you understand what's happening here.
Yep. And what these guys are saying, gang, you keep building. This is exactly what Jim is explaining right now. Keep building depth over here. And what we're saying is whenever you put a new personal in, they go with what Byron is saying, we can drive teams by the next available position. You build here and you build over here. And you keep putting people deeper and deeper and deeper. And some people, not all, some choose to build their inside teams. Not all, but enough. And so all we got to focus on is continuing. How fast can I get another level in depth as a team? It's not just you. When number one shows up, what we suggest, and you guys can do what you want to do. There's a bunch of people, but I know specifically that both Nikki Rempel and Isaac Carr, who are the fastest people to diamond ever, both fastest to triple, and maybe both fastest to blue, both of them, they chose to believe in putting the first three on the team, even though they didn't understand why until later. Both of them said, man, I'm really glad we did that. I understand now why. But it took them they had to see it down the road. Why? Because that runaway team that Byron is talking about, if everybody's putting their first three on the team leg, everybody gets the opportunity to build against volume that is already there. When you get people that come in and they say, I just want to build my inside team and I'm going to let the team build my team leg. I can't even say the word as a pastor with what I believe about that, but it's very self-centered because they just want to go build here. But if everybody decides to just build their inside team, ain't nobody building over here. Hello. Anyway, point is, we don't decide who those people are. Each person decides that they are the person, that they are the leader. So as number one comes in, we want to start building together with number one. Hey, I want to build this thing. Great. We want to go get deeper and deeper over here while they start building their inside team. They're helping with both teams, not just one. Everybody's got to build two teams. Everybody, if you want to get paid here, gang.
Stay on that slide right there. All right. You ought to snap a picture because this is what it looks like when it gets really big. That's right. Here's the problem. You have no idea on the left or the right who's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
That's right.
You got no idea. All you're doing is I got to get the bottom of the team driven on the left and the bottom on the right. And number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they show up somewhere. Now, if you take the approach, what Terry said, and this is, people that don't understand what we're doing here is they're saying, well, I'm just going to build on one side because I got all this spill on the other side. You'll never check match your big team.
Oh.
Let me just tell you, I'll say it again. If you only choose to build the inside leg, you'll never check match the bigger team because you have no business over there, because the check match, which we're going to get into next, is where it gets crazy. When you have a team take off, you want a bunch of personals that are sitting in there that could go do this on your bigger team, because then you start check matching. All right. And this is when it gets, quite honestly, really pretty crazy, which we'll dive into in a minute. But before we leave the check match, I want people to see what it looks like when you get down the road, to see what the snapshot looks like. Your job is not to make 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 go do it. Your job is to drive it on the bottom outside left, the bottom outside right. Let me just share this with you. There is never a situation where you want to take your personal and put it down from someone else on the inside. Always place all your personal people outside left, outside right, go drive the very bottom, and then let let the aces show up because they want to go chase it. You're looking for the people to go chase because you're giving them something to chase.
Don't go away from that picture yet. But when you pause, let me know.
Go ahead. You're good, Jim.
Okay, I want to run through some quick rules. You two, and give me some latitude here. As I listen to these two guys, when I say there's like laws of the binary, like if I was Sir Isaac Newton, like I've studied this for decades. I'm telling you, this stuff shows up over and over and over, like you need air to breathe and water to drink. Depth is security. Write that down. Depth creates diversification and security, which gives you options to work with multiple people. Very important. Width gives you options within that outside left and right common leg. So the wider you are, the more options you have to work, because our computer system also knows the unilevel. So Byron said he's almost 90 wide. He has more options than I do with 45. Just common sense, right? So the wider you are, then you take and split them and go the deeper, right? The other thing is he mentioned...
Hey, Jim, before you go there, I just want to explain to people, when Jim says wide, he means personally sponsored. That's what he's referring to when he says width.
No, that's good that you say that. Folks, give me some forgiveness here. I forget who I'm talking to. Right. So if you're if you're literally in Little League in this industry, and that's why we do these podcasts. If you don't understand it all, it's okay. Just look at his drawing here. And outside placement, why? It's very clear that because your personals, that width that Terry just talked about, that's like sacred ground. You brought them in, you've given them your word, your bond that you're doing this. And so by working, let's say on that left is my screen left, on the bottom of that, every time I work on the bottom, all of my skin in the game, meaning my personals, I'm working in their team. Right. And I teach them that, because while they may not be working because they're incubating in a cocoon, I can send them text messages, voice text messages, and say, we just broke another diamond in your left leg. That's 40,000 points a month. Oh, by the way, if we get you going and you match that, that's like a significant income. 40,000 points is probably in that 7,500 to 10K. And I say that in a text because I'm going to let them know, hey, I want you to know I delivered on my promise. I've literally sent these texts lately. I want you to know I owe you nothing at this point. I delivered on my promise. Click, and I hit send. And it's amazing the responses that I get from that. Real quick, guys, and then I'll yield. I was drawing this out the other day to a group of gals, and they were all wanting to learn because they only came from a unilevel background. It was interesting. At the end of the Zoom, and I've never had this comment in all my years, there was two things that happened. The first was they asked me where they should place their people. Right. And we just covered that with the 3-in-1. And you two know that my gift, I find humor in a lot of things. And I laughed because I said, I find that funny because you would never ask that question in a unilevel. Here you are in the binary for the first time, and you're asking me, where should I place my 4, let's just say, Terry. And I started laughing because I'm like, they're starting to get it, right? That told me now they're thinking, oh my gosh, I can start to build unity in this team build. The second one really got me, and that was, it appears that there's a common leg. So I knew that she was paying attention, but the part B to that statement was, it appears that everybody has to build their one inside leg but I took it as if it was almost like a bad thing. And I want to point that out, that I found a lot of humor in that, because my response was, that's funny, because in a unilevel, if you're 40 wide, all 40 are hung out to dry. It's a comp plan that is survival of the fittest. You have to go. In Amway, nobody ever placed one single person in 13 years under me, and I never placed one single person under the 100+ groups that I put in. It is a total survival of the fittest, which is why you're seeing the success in our company in regard to the comp plan. So I just want to throw that out. But the last thing is that, yes, initially that's what you see, but your second leg, you start to develop a second common leg that takes on an energy of its own. And Terry, you're proof positive this, where you were putting energy, creating a common leg, and your legs flipped, right? I'm sorry, I just drug you guys to PhD level here. The reason why you want skin in both legs is because it's not if, it's when. If you think big enough, your legs flip. Where are you going to go work in the other group? Okay, I'm gonna quiet down. You got me wound. I get passionate about comp plan, bro.
Let's talk about the check match yet. And Jim, I want you to draw it out on your pad.
Okay.
Because the computer looks at the check match, and that's like a bloodline or a lineage. Okay, so the computer looks at it like Jim drew it out the first time. All of his personals are level 1, and their personals are level 2. And so on. You're going to see this, but everything is down a left and a right team for Jim.
Yeah.
Right?
Byron, just slow, go a little slower on that. You said something that I want to make sure everybody hears. The computer sees it this way. This is not what we're doing. We're putting people down in the binary, but the way check match is seen in the digital space in our back office is like he's explaining. It's really, I don't know. Once you guys grasp this is like game changing right here. It's just
so Jim, draw a bunch of those are all personals there on the front line. Just draw the way the computer looks at this. All right, I know you got my name in there. We're going to go back to that, but these are all level 1 people. These are all personals of Jim's. Now these are all placed in the left and the right team. But this is all level 1, and our check match at level 1. Draw a clear over on the right side, Jim, if you don't mind. All right, that's fine. 20% match. Okay, level 2 is 20% match. So all of my personals. So just draw. Go ahead and you put Terry in there, and then we're going to put Bill, and then let's put Lillian in, and let's use some real life examples here. All right.
Yeah. So this part right here, gang, what he's doing is showing his personals, those little lines with circles. Those are his personals, of which he's got close to 50. That's Jim. Byron's got 85 of those little lines, the people. Those are his front line. What you would see as level 1. Every person it's like this. Everybody, when you have kids in a family, okay, when you have kids, if you've got 5 kids, you have 5 lines of lineage. Each child begins a line of lineage. And if you have a daughter, your oldest daughter has 3 kids, that's 3 now other front lines of lineage through your daughter. So one child can have numerous other kids, which are all your grandkids. That's the way to look at this. And that family tree goes on to 7 levels of check match, but you get paid on everybody in the team commissions that adds to your check match. I don't know if people can grasp this.
Okay, so let me come at it another direction, Terry, because that's really good. So spillover, you don't match anybody that spills over in your team.
Check match. You don't have check match on spill.
On check match. But when somebody does cycle against that is your personal, you do match on the business.
Come on.
Okay, this is where it really people are starting. They're gonna, if they catch this, they're gonna go like, "You got to be kidding me!" All right, so put Bill in there on one of those of Terry's, Jim. All right, so, and then let's put draw Bill's out and draw Lillian in yet while you're doing it. So just
Okay.
keep in mind, these are first generation of check match is 20%. What is the match on? It's on the $20 cycle. So when you build this and people start chasing business and they start cycling, if that is somebody that's in your line of check match, you get paid on that. So, for example, every time I get a $20 check, Jim gets a 20% match on that check. So if I cycle 100 times a day, Jim is making $2,000 a day. Is that right? Did I do the math right there?
$4 a cycle. So
$4. Yeah, four. Sorry. So $4 a cycle times 100 cycles will be $400 a day that Jim would make based on whether it's on my big team or my small team is irrelevant. I'm cycling. Because I'm cycling, Jim's getting paid. This is why Jim's name is Uncle Check Match. Okay? Because now you see I put Terry in. And Terry's got, how many personals you got, Terry? 73?
73.
So he's got.
Sorry,
70.
Terry. I put.
It's all good, man. That's all good.
It doesn't matter. It's all good. It doesn't matter. All right. Bill's got about 50 and Lillian's probably got close to that or 30. It doesn't matter, but these are all generations. So what happens is the left and right have no bearing on this. So it's a 4% or a $4 check. If Terry makes a cycle of $20 and I personally put Terry in, I get a $4 check. Bill, who he put in, every time Bill cycles, I get a $4 check. Lillian, every time she cycles, I get a 10% match or a $2 check. Now, when these people are cycling hundreds of times a day, or let's say hundreds of times a week, those are all checks that start coming. We're only talking about 4 people here.
Yes.
Right, Uncle Check Match?
Yes,
Now-
correct.
Now, all of a sudden, you can start getting the picture that why is it important to build a big team left and right, and why is it important to have a lot of personals left and right? When I looked at this comp plan, I knew how to build one, all right, in a 2-team system. But in this one, I needed to get paid on both sides, so I put a bunch of personals in on both teams. Out of the 90 personals I have, I bet I've got 35 to 40 of them on my bigger team, not on my smaller team. And what happens is when those people start chasing, the deeper that business gets, those people that are sitting in the tree, they start chasing, I start getting a check. It starts a new line of check match with every personal I have. This can get absolutely astoundingly freaking crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
People got to understand, B, that they're going to check match ultimately, potentially, on thousands of people. $4, $2, $1.
Yeah.
Every week.
Let me say it just slightly different, which is why I came over here. So not only do I have 20%, because my personals are 20%, Byron's one of those personals, but he goes 86 wide. Where do those 86 go? Terry is one of those 86. You had 73, Terry?
Yeah.
He's just one of Byron's 86. Where do those 73 go? And Bill's 50. Bill is only one of those 73. Where do those 50 go? It's just with these 4 people, it's so massive. There's not enough room on the paper just to illustrate just these 4 people. Lillian's how wide?
30
I
probably.
don't know specifically. I would say in the 40 to 50 range, but I don't know.
Okay, so 40 to 50. And this is 20%. This is 20%. These are actually a direct. I sponsored him, who sponsored him, who sponsored him, who sponsored her. So this is what I'm saying. You have to go 86 wide, and that one leg is 73, 50, 40 to 50. It's astronomical. So ask your question, does it pay to go as wide as possible? And then you get to equals sticking them in your 2 common legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes
Yeah.
is the answer.
That's the answer. Now, to unlock those check matches, you have to move up in rank.
Yeah.
All right. Which means someone that's sitting in the tree, all right, that is doing nothing, they have volume that's coming in, and it's giving them a lot of reasons to go to work. All right. Here's the other thing we love about our comp plan. It rewards the people that go drive the business, which are the ones that go put the personals in on the books, and they go bring leadership. There's a lot of people that are in the network marketing space that look at our comp plan and they don't like it because they can't come in the binary and put one on the left and one on the right and then go break the comp plan. We have a name for those. All right. Those people, those are binary whores. All right. They come in, they provide no value, they provide no leadership whatsoever. All right. And they take. Okay. The good news about our comp plan is this repels those people, because if you want to make a bunch of money here, you better go to work. Can you make a little bit, not do a whole lot? Yeah, they could put a couple people in and they can make a little bit. But the person that comes and plays the game, they bring the leadership, they actually make this their home, okay? It rewards them very, very handsomely.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed, guys, I would be great if we could just show the back office and how this looks. But I want to be really clear on this part right here. Some of you listening to this, whether it's live or listening to the recording, you're saying to yourself, that's me. I want to go do this. There's something inside that's happening. Listen, when you're building in the beginning, you may not have a lot of people hitting ranks. And when I say ranks now, I'm talking gemstones, sapphire, and above, because you're check matching on the two teams, okay? So in the beginning, your check match will be a smaller percentage of your total check. However, as the team builds and you have leaders show up and more leaders, your check match will really start to increase because of the ranks that are now popping. And I'm talking gemstone ranks because you got to have volume right left, because what we're matching on are team commissions, which come from right left volume. And you'll start to see that, and it will just skyrocket. So you've heard this term probably before. In the beginning, I can't believe how much work I'm doing for how little I'm getting paid. Later on, it becomes, I can't believe how much money I'm making for how little I'm doing. I mean, this is what we're talking about. And there is no cap on check match. No cap. This is a massive deal right here. So hopefully everybody, I don't know that they'll get it, gents, or not. There's so much. We haven't even started scratching, honestly, to try to help people really picture how powerful this compensation plan. Hopefully you guys can just hear our passion about it and just trust that at some point you're going to see it.
Let me just say this on that topic, Jim, and I'll come to you. So let me break it down on what you need to do to win here. Go personally put in 30 people in the next 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. That is fast enough that creates momentum in your team. If you go put 30 in over 6 or 12 months, you don't get near the effect as if you can condense the window of saying, I've got to add 30 new people in. You've got to go to work, all right, and you got to go find those people. However you got to find them. Put those in quickly, down left, down right. All right. And then the second thing is how can I drive those outside teams 100 generations in depth? That's where the magic will start to begin. That's not the end. Now, it's not 100 people you put in. It's helping other people put their first 3 in that outside team, and you contributing and letting those people upline that are up from the people that go in. Hey, we just want to let you know it is actually working. There's volume there. Oh, by the way, do your 50 points. All right. Find you a customer. All right. Or do it yourself, or do both, whichever it is, because you're going to want to hold the sales volume, because there's going to be a point in time when you're going to say, I want to go to work, and you have that business sitting on the books. This is what our comp plan rewards. It rewards somebody that goes to work. 30 people. Jim said 20% go to work. Well, and 20% go to work inside here, it causes a lot more people to go to work because they see all that business, compared to when it's all like this. Those lines of business just don't grow straight down. It's like the survival of the fittest. Here, it's like, it's kind of like, in the wild. I'm going to give you a little lesson here. Terry like this. So in Africa, in a lion pride, all right, the big male lion that runs the whole deal, he's not doing a lot of the work. It's all the female lines that are doing the kill, and he's coming in and eating most of the time later. All right. Now, the point is out of this whole story is there's people that are sitting there waiting, and you're going to come in and reap some rewards because you did your 50 points a month. You're still going to have to go figure out how to go to work. You're going to have to go add the personals in, because if you don't put the personals in, you can't drive enough volume on your other team and your outside team for the check match. So just to understand that there's some of you are just sitting back waiting, and you're going to start later, and you're going to see all the benefit of this spillover happen. Just still, when you decide to go to work, you're still going to have to go to work. You're still going to have to go and work for what you're going to have. But the reality of what's taken place is you can leverage off a lot of business that's happening in a two-team system.
Yeah, I was just going to add for the person, because in a group this size and the number of replays, there's going to be somebody that watches this and says, well, how do I draw more attention to help build both my teams? I had somebody that the other day said to me, because they've been watching incubating, and literally said to me, hey, can you put some people in my inside leg so I can start generating a check? No. Well, why not? And they get quiet. Well, because I already built half your business. There's no way in hell I'm building the other half if you keep doing what you're doing. Why would I do that? That's called welfare. I'd be better off putting a new person at the bottom outside, working with them, driving them to a check so I actually check match. However, this is again falls into the PhD category, everybody. There is a point in the future where the people who are digging the ditch with you, and they have, say, one leg blowing out, and they have a significant presence and they're working hard on their inside, both you guys will agree with this. It's where we're going out and doing regionals. It's where we will start to pull Zooms on their inside. And what happens is, this is where you start taking people from the rank of, say, Ruby or Emerald to Diamond and beyond, because there's groups that I am in there inside. I'm not placing people there, but I have a significant presence, spelled Presence, my presence, my sweat equity on that inside. But my gift, spelled Presents, is going bottom, right, and left. Okay, very important you understand the moving part. But I will promise you, every team that Byron or Terry or I and others are working in both their teams, those are groups that have shown that they are committed. The term, I don't know, is you, Byron or Terry, that they're here for the haul. And that's where you start to pick up steam in those groups if you're that person that's raised your hand and rolled up your sleeve. So I just wanted to throw that out for people.
Yeah, we gotta land the plane. But in terms of this incubation, gang, to me that's the best word, because not everybody's ready to build right when they see it. Not everybody, and it's okay. I want to be really clear on that. It is okay. Time of life, you got different things going on. Understand, all kinds of things are happening in people's lives. It's okay. But let's talk about what incubation looks like. For those of you who you should be on Zooms. You should get on the trainings. You should get to the regionals that we have coming up. You should be around it and growing your understanding, your comprehension of what you're in, so that when you are at that point, you have understanding to go do what you now know, because to know and not to do is not to know. And so I want to be really clear on this incubation. It's not just sitting doing nothing. It's you still growing in your comprehension, and being around it really matters. So really, truly get your ticket to either Liftoff or to the 10X to 300 in Las Vegas in the back office.
That's right. And, this recording could be after those things are over, that people are actually watching this. So there's going to be a continued diet of regional trainings around the country that you're part of as it starts to grow. And there's going to be bigger events like we're doing in Vegas, and also the Liftoff event in Australia. So just be aware that the event system that we have, that's going to be a real key factor for you to get around the environment, to raise your belief, to increase your certainty. Because let me just tell you, when people have certainty and they make a decision, that's when the magic happens. Until your certainty goes up and you go all in, everybody can smell that like a dog smells fear. I have watch all these people that join, and then all of a sudden one takes off like crazy. And what happens is if you go dial it back, there's a tremendous amount of certainty. So the question becomes, like Terry and I talked about on where leaders come from, where does the certainty come from? It's when you get around the other people that got the certainty and you get a few of your questions answered. And the best possible way to do that is come to Vegas or go to Liftoff in the Gold Coast.
Yep.
All right. Those two, where it's a multi-day event, a regional event is one day. That's better than not anything. But when you can go to some place where you can immerse yourself and say, okay, I got to go because I got to understand, then all of a sudden the game can get a lot different and, help you step up and play where you want to play at. So I think we need to land the plane here, gang. Any last words?
No,
We're just getting
real,
started, man. Holy cow.
real quick, because people are already hitting me. Where's the replay going to be? Right here in Reset and Win. Draw special attention to episode 9, how to structure your binary. Right here, number 9. And this replay, as soon as we get it downloaded and get the thumbnail, we will have this in the system. Resetandwin.com, behind the paid wall. So that's where the replays are. That's where you can go get your bachelor's degree and your master's degree.
That's exactly right. All right, let's sign off. Appreciate you guys being on the Winner's Edge. We'll be back.
Let's go, Chip Goes.
We'll be back on Thursday. It'll be a little bit warmer out, and we're fired up about that. And appreciate all you being on here. God bless. You guys have an amazing day.
Come on.